Welcome to the first edition of the Spiritually Focused Guide. This guide encompasses sacred healing messages and techniques to provide for our journey on the spiritual path. Throughout this model, I will be breaking down a series of 10 aspects that spirituality contains. I strongly advise taking a moment to recap after each of the lessons to fully indulge the mind into this information. The goal for each lesson is to dive deeper into the state of consciousness and raise our awareness to its true heightened potential. I'm doing this in hopes of expanding the conscience and providing you with the proper tools to construct your own heaven-like reality. The Spiritually Focused Guide brings to you an all-exclusive look at the world's biggest illusions. It focuses on the spiritual essence of our personal being through a lifetime of data and relative experiences that help to become fully coherent of our eternal presence. I assure to you that by the end of this guide, you will be well equipped with the intuition and formulas needed to possess your natural state of being. You are about to be exposed to life's biggest secrets. Get ready, because this is going to be a good one. Lesson 1. Soul Purpose. Each soul has its own divine plan that contributes to a mass network of organisms to curate for an aspired reality. The life force attained by a particular spirit is developed through a collective data stream of features like one's current level of intuition and flow of creativity. It's not about completing a task, rather it's establishing a set of values, morals, and beliefs that give life to your soul. Your purpose for life influences the behaviors, life decisions, and goals that we stand by on a daily basis. This is an unconditional substance that gives fuel to the life charge we possess in our essence of being. The soul has a strong relation between the material realm and its spiritual self, sharing characteristics of both fields in each frame of existence. When the spirit loses touch of its authenticity, it begins to experience symptoms of anxiety, weakness, and several other forms of self-sabotaging beliefs. Anytime you feel the disconnection in yourself, project a higher frame of being to compensate for the poised energy that has entered your system. Nourish the soul with healthy beliefs to replenish its energy and continue creating light for others. Spirit over matter will transform all life. It has the power to overcome any man-made stimulation through the divine aspect of our being. Take notice that the self still exists without the body, and that the soul is a non-physical entity that is separable from our physical bodies. We all have biochemical drivers embodied into our physical frame that guide our actions by telling us what our body needs. Every kind of living thing possesses a different version of soul that communicates with us through ancient symbols, sacred archetypes, and sanctioned metaphors. The soul lives its own life, not for the purpose of the body, but more so, the body lives for the purpose of the soul. End of Lesson 1. Lesson 2. Human Consciousness. You know that little voice in your head? The one that's constantly feeding you information on what you perceive to be as true? The one that creates your own unique thoughts and memories to capture for reassurance? That's your conscience. It's a collective set of shared beliefs, ideas, and moral attitudes that operate a unifying force within the field of consciousness. The design comes from everything you have experienced throughout lifespan of time, big or small. Each conscious experience complements for the awareness our internal thoughts support. This is a place where we integrate information from different senses or keep such thoughts active for long enough time to the point where we can experience that particular sight and sound. The human conscience enables behavior to be shaped by non-present factors and also by social and cultural information. Its emergence takes place on the interface through the display of communication and use of tools. Speaking of tools, our consciousness is the basic tool in which gives us the awareness to identify with the surrounding environment. It empowers an empathic quality that can help mankind to continue its existence. This attribute is applicable to any human because we see that it resembles us in its appearance and behavior. Our subconscious mind never sleeps. It's always absorbing so much information and ideas. It makes up around 90% of our brain and ultimately controls almost everything we do. It acts as a reservoir for our feelings and memories outside of our conscious awareness. The subconscious part of our mind allows us to do things we don't have to think about, but we can alter them if we choose to. For example, we don't have to think about breathing, but we can still control our breath and its patterns. Your human conscious is something you create in your mind. It's a constant feedback loop of data creating structure to become more coherent with the surrounding environment. End of Lesson 2. Lesson 3. Brainwaves. If the absence of brain activity signals brain death, then the presence of brain activity indicates brain life. Brainwaves are relevant to our mental health and are known to be the essential component of electrical activity produced by the brain. All wave functioning can influence the development of certain conditions with the respect of the collected neurons produced in our brain. These brainwaves are produced by a synchronicity of electrical pulses from masses of neurons feeding and communicating with each other. They are typically measured in cycles per second and defined through its level of frequency. For example, how many thoughts come to mind when looking into one frame of your existence? Is it focusing on the finite detail of each object that is encompassed into your field of vision? Or is it filled with intangible thoughts that separate the mind from experiencing its true nature? Brainwave operations can be cataloged through 5 different states of frequency. Each realm consists of subcomponents that are related to the features we possess internally. The waves occur at various frequencies of speed. Some are fast and some are slow. Starting with the fastest frequency at gamma, where it cycles at about 30 times, and then moving on to the beta at 13 to 30 cycles. Next we move on to the alpha frequency, where it produces 8 to 12 cycles, and initially making its way to the theta level, where it cycles 4 to 7 times slower. The slowest frequency of brainwaves is the delta waves, where it cycles 1 to 3 times. This state occurs in deep sleep. While the brain may be in an aroused state and exhibiting a beta brainwave pattern, there also exists in the person's brain a component of alpha, theta, and delta, even though these might not be present. The pattern that every individual carries is unique and can be transmitted amongst its surrounding organisms. You can look at brainwaves as traveling waves that physically move through the brain like waves of the sea. The electrical nature of our brain allows not only for sending of signals, but also for the receiving of electrical pulses. It's almost like you can read a person's brainwaves as they speak. Our brainwaves can be manipulated through deep breathing meditations and profound exercises. Slow yourself down and stay consistent in your approach until delivery. End of Lesson 3. Lesson 4. Untapped potential. Your mind is like a light bulb. There's no light without the charge. Picture its energy being generated by a flow of currents that emanates from a battery life charge. You have a natural but undeveloped ability that awaits to be processed. This is what gives the light bulb its structure. It depends on the self to whether it will shine or not. The amount of energy you put in is the same that you will get back. It's like our thoughts are currents. The more we feed into the soul, the more brighter the bulb gets. In the essence of life, we must develop a sense of trust with the plan that is given to us, denoting that it will make us more vulnerable and foster a closer connection to the process at hand. Keep the mind tended with healthy beliefs to replicate for the journey you seek to fulfill. A true awakening is happening, and you're part of it. You have as much of an impact to this universe as the one standing next to you. Take initiative of your goals, and don't let anything get in your way. It's all in your head. The image we depict in our heads of that higher being we seek to fulfill must be known that it takes patience to piece each element together. Each attribute is constructed by a deep expression of beliefs that have been conditioned over time. Every lifetime exists right beneath our eyes. Take the moment to shift your lens into more constructive and optimal frames of your existence to cultivate for the dream life you intend to experience. Discovering the use for our untapped potential is life-changing, literally. Don't think twice about your thoughts. The mind is attracted to entities that carry similar traits. End of Lesson 4. Lesson 5. Chakra alignment. Chakras play a significant role with the flow of energy in our body. They are an energy blueprint for the physical manifestation of the human form. When one opens all the major chakras, the energy centers in our body will balance out and nurture a state of equilibrium. There are 7 main chakras that run from the base of your spine to the top of your head. The location of our chakras recite to the places on our body where essential systems use a lot of energy. Each one is supported with a unique color, light, and element that corresponds to a specific nerve bundle or organ in our body. Our root chakra is located on the base of our spine and represents basic needs such as food, water, shelter, and emotional needs. The sacral chakra is found right below our belly button and is responsible for sexual and creative energy. Next is the solar plexus, located in our stomach and represents self-esteem and confidence. The fourth chakra is very important to the overall production of our system, in which sustains the connection between the lower and upper chakras, almost acting as a bridge. This is the heart chakra, where it associates with compassion, affection, and love, starting at the center and expanding through the chest. Next is the throat chakra, which is related to the expression of our communication and individuality. Then we have our third eye chakra, where it sits in the center of our head, just above our eyebrows. This chakra represents our inner vision, the mystical intuition and insight we project mentally. At the top of the chakra ladder stands the crown. This is where our divine body meets our higher state. It sits just like a crown radiating upwards. The crown chakra represents our spiritual connection to higher guidance. A blockage in a chakra is an indication of obstruction to the flow of life force energy. Once the energy center is blocked, you may experience physical or emotional symptoms related to our particular chakra. This typically occurs when energy flow is deficient or overactive in their progression of manifesting. When done with intention, deep and conscious breaths can restore our chakras. Each inhale directs our energy to our chakras, while each exhale allows awareness to settle in our chakras. Chakras have transformed the internal spirit to have a positive outlook in terms of healing our mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional issues. Keeping a balance on our chakras is vital to our overall health and flow of life. End of Lesson 5. Lesson 6. Divine Light Body. Do you ever get those moments when your reality feels like a dream? Those ones where the vibrations continue to rise until it's fully stimulated upon the experience? That's the light body. The light body is our vehicle to graduate from human conditions and ascend into higher dimensions of existence. Its presence exists closer to your soul than your chakras. This higher dimensional body of light contains our divine image of a perfect being. It's a complete matrix of energy designed from the grid that merges the physical, emotional, and spiritual aspects of our being into a unified whole. The fuel of our light body is love. As we ascend from all features of human life, we merge into the light body and cultivate the pure being of light. It is the energy body that experiences a stronger sense of personal power and greater ability to control our emotions. We are all evolving and absorbing light at our own pace. When the light body is activated, the energy seeks to replace the current misguiding or controlling beliefs with ancient truths of the masters. It no longer creates the illusion by blocking our higher dimensional functions and access. As we separate from the shadows of our light, we begin to experience spontaneous healing and generally feeling more grounded, calm, and focused towards the present moment. The light body is composed of many layers that interact with shifting influences of the body and life system to create an aura effect. These layers consist of the etheric, emotional, and mental elements of being. Each layer, as it registers in the awareness, becomes a dimension of activity for the vibrational being. As we connect ourselves back to the source of creation, the only thing that stands is our higher state of being. Don't picture this as a single measure, but think of this as a consistent stream of ideas and principles applied to your life to resonate within the frame of existence. The results lead to a powerful expansion and awakening of consciousness to remembering who we truly are. End of Lesson 6. Lesson 7. Transcendental Meditation. Ever wonder what it feels like to float in space? Meditation practices are a perfect way to overcome the limitations of physical experience. This allows the soul to detach from its ego and go beyond space and time. We are multidimensional human beings having a temporary human experience. Something is real because of our belief and our experience of the thoughts that we apply with it. The most important reality is our true sense of awareness and intuition, not the ones that are backed up by limiting beliefs. Take a moment to feel your breath. Notice where the mind wanders while focusing on its breathing. These are the patterns that need to be let go to endure the full transcendental body experience. Strip all perceptions you have about yourself and aim to achieve a state of perfect stillness within your consciousness. Feel the restful alertness within your mind and guide the attention to its true source of creation. This is where our true peace is found, the point where there is ultimately no awareness and feel afloat with the universe around us. Become connected with this feeling and integrate it with your current patterns of belief to keep the mind loose from higher states of brain activity. Applying these practices to our daily objectives will help to enhance our efficiency of functional cognitive processing. Believe in yourself and trust that the universe will reward you in resemblance to the amount of energy produced. Remember that no energy can poise you unless it is accepted. Your body is a vehicle driven from a mass network of planets that come down to our frame of being to direct its actions. Take each stride with deep passion and fulfillment towards your transformation as an infinite being. End of Lesson 7. Lesson 8. Enlightenment. We are all on a journey, one that's ultimately leading us to our destination for purpose in life. The road will not always be smooth. In fact, throughout our travels, we will encounter many challenges. Step into the light body and guide its light through the shadows of our being. Enter a state of enlightenment by being present in the moment. Look at things as if you did for the first time and open your awareness to the whole range of mind. Dive within and experience the silent depths of your mind. Let go of the preconceived ideas that you have about any people, place, or things. Take full comprehension of a situation and hold honesty to yourself while putting forth your greatest efforts. Continue working on yourself to achieve total self-reflection. Throughout this journey of work, the truths and resolutions that are deep and profound will be answered. This is something that the intellectual mind cannot resolve. Even though the resolution may not be the most desirable, the being is still capable of being at peace with it. This is work for the inner soul to enhance its ability to actually feel itself through the tangible experience. The enlightened ones don't conform themselves around society. Instead, they interact with the community of organisms that sit within. At this point, the past and future becomes collapsed into the present moment. Notice that each thought applied contributes to the overall experience of an idea. Free your mind from its limits and allow the self to expand its state of awareness. What's meant to be will happen. Be true to yourself and project your purest intentions towards any variable that the universe has to provide. End of Lesson 8. Lesson 9. Eternal Presence. Wonder why it's possible to feel someone's presence without seeing them or explicitly knowing they're there? That's because everything has its own vibrational energy. The stronger a person's energy and the more you are open and pay mind to it, the more you feel with them. There is an energy force which makes us feel one another and unknowingly know each other's thoughts and acts. Synchronize the energy into a field of empowering and expansive states so that each entity can benefit and inspire forward action. We are eternal beings equipped with the skill to regulate our thoughts and emotions under any given circumstance. We are not computers where they are just programmed to endure specific functions. We have the ability to reprogram our mind and construct it in a way that fits our purpose. Take note that your presence is felt amongst thousands of organisms daily, subconsciously or not. Every aspect of your presence has a social meaning, including your emotions and how you are interacting with people around you. Stay active with your energetic being and find happiness even in the smallest of things. Consistently express your divine image without trying to prove yourself right or be someone you're not. Your presence is what makes a difference and is an important aspect to bring to the table. It has the ability to connect with and inspire others. The more consistently that you are able to practice your presence, the more often you will notice an increase in self-worth and confidence. You can intuitively understand where your audience is and what they need from you, and then provide it to them. Understand that there is no beginning or end. This is all in your head. Trace yourself back to the eternal presence of being and shift its focus to manifestation. End of Lesson 9. Lesson 10. Source of Creation. Humans were created with the intent of abundant living and to admire the fruitfulness of its world's sensations. Each particle that takes place in our presence as of right now is created through the perception of someone else's belief and their projected use of its matter. Believe it or not, each definitive structure resonates from a universal pattern that can be recognized as the flower of life. The flower of life symbolizes creation and cycle of life. It reminds us of the unity within each form of life and acts as a basic template for everything in existence. We are all built from the same blueprint in which all geometric forms can be found in. You have the brain, heart, and body to create anything you desire out of life. Give charge to the source of life that's within you and consciously create inner and outer space that promotes the integrity of the body, mind, and soul. To create a powerful thought takes time and energy. Align yourself with images of perfect symmetry to integrate with the collected thoughts around your focused idea. We must create this space so that what is intended to be flowered through you is brought into manifestation. Before creation comes destruction. When merging into our higher state of being, there is a sense of destruction upon the old and typical beliefs. We must let go of these patterns to create space for something new. Understand that the more you challenge yourself, the more you grow into the person you need to become to achieve the success you want. Recognize the power of your thoughts and how deeply connected they are to constructing our own personal reality. Become abundant and enjoy life. Make the best use of your time and never miss the opportunity to grow. End of Lesson 10. Part 1 of the Spiritually Focused Guide has officially come to an end. I appreciate you taking the time to want more for yourself. You did not get here by coincidence. You are on a journey gathering the resources needed to endure your path of ascension. The truth is, the mass population is being hidden from this knowledge in hopes of keeping them contained and stimulated to the reality they want to create. Break out of the stimulation and start to create way for your sense of existence. Today we make change for the better. Keep the mind conscious to your purpose for life anytime the universe tends to challenge or question your positioning in the current moment. Our thoughts and emotions are constantly fueled through a persistent connection between the body and mind, in which over time becomes amplified until the moment of discharge. Use your awareness and cultivate synchronicity between daily movement to keep the self connected with its natural state of being. The world starts to change once you broadcast your own energy, not when we absorb it. Thank you all for watching, and may your spirit be guided through pure intentions of unity.